Crazy.
All right, welcome back to the Goddess Giselle podcast. You are watching live on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm your host, Goddess Giselle, and this space was created to really have a platform for women making an impact across the world. And so I really wanted to create a space where we could come together, share our raw, authentic selves, and also just kind of feed off of each other's high vibrations and good energies. Because as a woman, when you're trying to make an impact in the world, it can get hard. And so this space is dedicated to women like that. And so today I'm so excited to introduce you all to my guest, Urmi Hossain, who is hailing from Canada. Okay, this is an international today. Listen, we are across borders, and I'm so excited to have her on the show today. And if you're new here, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. So, Urmi, welcome to the channel. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am so good. We have jumped right in today, right? I can't believe we're so far into 2026, but how has your new year been going?
Pretty good, I have to say. Pretty good. I feel like I'm just manifesting a lot of the things that I have put on my vision board. So it's going good so far.
Good. And so you already did your vision board for 2026, or
I did it in November 2025.
so you were ahead of the calendar. You didn't need a calendar to tell you when to do the board.
I was ahead of the game, yes.
That is so good. Like I honestly just finished mine early at the beginning of February. So
Okay.
it took me some time. I usually try to, that's the best time to do it is in November. But I've been busy. Okay. I'm a new mom, so I've been busy, but I was like very intentional about making time for that. So I did my vision board, and I will say this one felt a little different because it felt so authentic.
Yes.
Um, I decided to put more pictures and less words because I am a writer and an author. And so I tend to lean towards words instead of pictures. And I was like, it's a vision board. Like I don't need as many affirmation of words as much as I need pictures.
Mhm.
So that's what I did different this year. Ermi, was there anything different about coming into this year with your vision board?
Yeah, so I like to live by a theme each year. It's something that I have started in 2025,
Mhm.
and I told myself I'm gonna keep doing that. So every year there is a theme which is the focus of my vision board. So for instance,
Nice.
last year for 2025, it was all about doing something new each month and participating to networking events where I didn't know anyone and I would just go no matter what, and I would
Mhm.
attend like conferences, webinars, and I feel like it just happened. And this year I told myself that it's all about opportunities and creating opportunities where I have the chance to speak or connect with other people. So last year was more about attending like the events, and this year it's more about creating opportunities. And I always keep a team around like everything I want to do.
Mhm. That is great. That is a great best practice, Ermi. That is amazing. That's a good tip. So, ladies, gentlemen, take a tip from Ermi, okay? Do a little more strategic effort, right? Having a strategy going into the vision board. And even if you don't put those words specifically, if you set that intention, like your year is gonna look like that. Mind you, me and Ermi met from her manifestation, right?
That's it.
So it's working. And this is a lived manifestation. You are watching it right here. So that is amazing. So Ermi, for everyone who is new here, tell us a little bit about yourself. So what do you do in the world, and what brings you to the show? Because I know we talked offline. I was just like blown away by your tenacity and really just commitment to empowering women. Like at the end of the day, that's what I do. That's what you're here to do. So talk to us a little bit about how you got started in the world of women empowerment.
So I got started a couple of years ago, and I felt like I had a vocation. I felt like there was a need where really had to fulfill that need.
Mhm.
And because of personal reasons and how I see South Asian women treated, from the community, from the society, I told to myself that this has to change. And
Mhm.
it really started with female mentorship, and I was involved with a lot of organization back in 2021. I was
Mhm.
part of like short cohorts, let's say of 6 months with different female-led organizations, and I keep doing it right now. But now a bit more mindful of who I want to spend my time with and who I want to mentor. And my
Mhm.
focus has been really mentoring women of color, women who moves around from different countries to another, who women who want to study finance, who women
Mhm.
who need a little bit of guidance in terms of career. And
Mhm.
I'm also part of another organization called Women in Leadership, which is based in Canada, and each city of Canada has a chapter. So I'm part of the Montreal chapter
Mhm.
as a co-chair of the organization, and we have really great things planned for the year. So in 2 weeks, basically for the 8th of March, which is International Women's Day, we have an
Yay.
event being launched where we're gonna bring speakers, panelists. We'll have a brunch, a networking session. So I'm very, very excited about that.
Wow. And that's in person in Montreal.
That's right.
Now, tell us a little bit about the organization, and are there legs across the world? And what do you guys, or girls, focus on in the organization?
Yeah, so the organization has been around for 25 years, and this year they're celebrating 25 years. And what the intent or the purpose of the organization is really to empower the women out there. It could be like women professionals, women who are working moms. It's really open to everyone, and we talk
Mhm.
about different things. Like we have leadership development programs, we have a mentorship program, we have webinars which are offered online, and anyone from across the world can participate to those. We have workshop, and the other thing is that each chapter also does its own thing but under the same mission, which is to empower women. So some chapters, maybe they will do like a wellness program where everyone gets together on a Sunday and they go for a walk, whereas some others
Mhm.
have more like happy hour events after work. Ours has been dormant for a while, and
Mhm.
now we put together a team. It's been like 5 months we've been working on, like we put together a team, and now we're ready to really launch back the chapter.
Nice. Well, kudos to you all. Like I said, anytime I see women gathering, I know that there's something major on the way, right? Because when we come together and just having that same mission or the same objectives, the same mindset, that really helps shift the narrative of being a girl, right? Because a lot of times as women, we do face different challenges even amongst ourselves. And so when we can come together under one guise of just really trying to promote something positive, I think that's just really helpful. It helps everybody, right? It just does.
Yeah.
So that's really dope. And thank you so much for sharing that. So you already have plans for International Women's Day.
That's right. Honestly, I was always a big advocate of that day. So in
Mhm.
Italy, and this does not happen in Canada. So in Italy, there is this tradition where on International Women's Day you have to give a flower to every single woman in your life, and it's not
Wow.
any regular flower. It's called mimosa, not the drink, but it's yellow like the drink.
Mhm.
And we give the mimosa to every single woman in our life, and that flower has a meaning. It grows in a very like typical soil and is very strong. Like it has an actual meaning, and we give it to every single woman in our life. However, when I moved to Canada, I saw that they don't have that, and I felt like it was not heavily celebrated International Women's Day. But me, I like
Mhm.
to highlight that day because for me it's so important. Like I grew up celebrating that day, even though there wasn't an actual party, but just the fact of recognizing that it's a day just for us, it's important.
Yeah.
So now that I'm in Canada, and I know that we're doing something for this day, I mean, I'm like, this is like something that finally it's being recognized even in Canada. I feel like it's just on this side of the world, it's like less celebrated. I'm not sure
Mhm.
why, but I mean, I'm happy that we're doing something.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we're talking borders. We're talking being on different parts of the world. And Urmi, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I really want to highlight across the world, right? Of course, I'm in the United States, but the reach of women is worldwide, right? Even beyond Earth, but that's another topic for another day. But I want to know a little bit about your experience growing up in is that Italy, right? so you're born in Italy and then you moved to Canada. Talk to me a little bit about how it was growing up in Italy, with regards to your own nationality, or how you, identify how that was growing up in Italy as a woman.
Yeah, for sure. So I am born and raised in Italy. I was born in Sicily, and both of my parents are from Bangladesh. So this is where my whole Bengali feature come in. And I have lived a big chunk of my life in Italy. However, I have moved a lot within Italy. Like we went from the south to the north of Italy. I was born in Sicily, went to Milan, then we went for a year in the UK, then we came back
Mm,
to Italy, and I moved to Canada in 2010. So I have been exposed to many cultures since birth, and I talk about my experience living in Italy as a South Asian woman in my book called Discover Your Identity, a Rebirth from Interracial Struggle.
mm,
And basically, the struggle or the challenges that I went through is the fact that I never felt like I was enough of Bengali or enough of Italian. Like I felt like when I was with my Italian friends, I was so aware that I did not look like them, and I
mm,
was the only one also back in the days. Like I was the only one that looked like me. However,
mm,
when I would go home, I also felt like I did not look like anyone else because from inside, I felt I was very Western. So I went through the struggle of like, I wasn't sure where I was supposed to fit. And
mhm,
I was like, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be choosing a culture. And then with time and everything, I finally came to a realization that it wasn't about choosing, it was just about creating my own space. And that's why I identify myself as Italian Bengali. I don't hold the
mhm.
Bengali nationality. I actually hold the Canadian nationality and Italian, but I
Yeah.
am Italian Bengali. Like when people say like, "Oh, you're Canadian," I'm like, "No, I'm not."
Okay. So it's two coins to the side. So on one hand, you identify as Italian Bengali,
That's right.
but
On paper,
you, on paper,
I'm Italian Canadian.
oh,
Yeah,
okay. So you've just been all over the world, well, not all over, but you had your experience with different cultures.
I did.
And how was that, first of all, internally, like inside the family? Because it sounds like your family, they did have a, somewhat of a nationality, but you were kind of like not technically in and out or whatever. Like your experience was different than even your own parents. So how was that inside the family, as well? Like, did you feel inclusive there, or was it also kind of like y'all don't relate as much because I'm, a little multinational here?
For some things, I could not relate, if I have to be honest. So basically, like when my parents moved from Bangladesh to Italy, so first of all, they have a very particular immigration story, which is very different than mine. And I always like to highlight that because when they moved from Bangladesh to Italy, they did not know anyone. They did not speak a word of Italian. Like this is to like
Mm,
for me, the fact that they have moved from a completely foreign land, it's a symbol of courage. And
yes.
when they have moved, they were still very attached to their culture, and they still are. They were attached to their traditions, culture, and so forth. And then of course me and my sister, we were born, but my experience is very different than from what my sister had. For instance, she's much younger than me. So at home we would mix a little bit of the two cultures, but not to the extreme point. Like I remember they will always tell me, oh, we don't celebrate Christmas, this is not like, it does not belong to us. I was always curious about, how we felt about decorating a Christmas tree, but every time like I would bring something like of such thing at home, it was a big no. So they were
Mm,
always very like strict, very, very religious at the same time, and very conservative.
mhm,
Very, very conservative. So they really like upheld to their tradition. So a lot of the times, for instance, I was not allowed to go out and see my friends because there was a perception that if you give too much freedom to a girl, then she will end up to be like a bad person. But
mhm,
this is not considered bad from like the Western society, if like, a girl goes out with some friends. So I feel like in that sense I did not have a typical adolescent
mhm,
life. I was
mhm,
always at home being super obedient, and I was very, very, very obedient in that sense. Like I never went against. Whereas
mhm,
with my sister's experience, it was also different. I feel like she had people that looked like her at school. Um,
mhm,
like I, for instance, I feel like I had only Italian friends growing up, but she had also Bengali friends, so her experience was a bit different.
Mm,
And then at home, we would eat a little bit of Italian food and Bengali food, but I was always leaning towards the Bengal, like the Italian food. It was always it. Like I would be so mad when I did not have pasta after
mm,
school, for instance. So
mm. Look, I feel the same way actually, all the way in the United States. If I don't have pasta or pizza, without my pizza, I'm like, ooh, but it's so funny. Like, the fun fact, and this is something I've picked up culturally, like certain cultures eat different, obviously. And I feel like in Italian culture, there's a lot of family meal sized. So family sized meals, right? So you eat as a family. You make like big thing of pasta, big old, like even a pizza is very culturally like we're gonna eat this together versus in America, everybody gets their own combo. Like everyone gets their own whatever they want. Like I want this, and then the other maybe another family member, but I want this. Like even the concept of a food court, right? It's in the mall. Everybody can get what they want, but in Italian food, you everybody eat from this one big pasta or this one big meal, and that just builds camaraderie and community.
you know what? So here's the thing. It's the same value for the Bengali culture. Like there is this thing where you have to, like, you all eat together as a way to
Mm-hmm,
celebrate each other, and our love language, it's through food, and it's the same for
mm-hmm.
Italian and Bengali culture.
Yeah.
But I can tell you one thing about the Italian culture, even the way they eat, like I feel like they have so much exposure to the American world that
Mm-hmm.
when like there is one McDonald's and then they open like a few other fast food, people just go crazy. They just love these things. People also love Starbucks so much, and it's like filter coffee, and I'm like, but we have like such a good coffee in Italy, and I'm thinking,
Uh-huh.
why are people just running after Starbucks? You know what I mean? There's such a big
Starbucks.
influence now from the United States in Italy. A
Uh-huh.
lot.
Yeah, that'll do it. Honestly, I think it's good marketing. It's like that here, but then I went to Israel and there was a McDonald's out, like Ronald McDonald in the middle of like the red near the Red Sea, and I was just like, there goes McDonald's. It's out there all over the place. So yeah, it's interesting. Now they do say that actually the McDonald's outside of America are a lot better tasting than the ones inside of the States. So that's
Yeah.
another fun
Yeah.
fact. So Urmi, how do you so you have this colorful palette of what makes you you. How do you bring yourself into your work or into the spaces that you occupy and share your voice? How do you stay true to who Urmi is, even with all of the colorful palette that makes you you? How do you show up authentically, and what ways do you do that in ways that you can help the audience kind of do that too?
So I think you touched upon a point which is authenticity, and it's something that I truly, truly value.
Mm-hmm,
And I do believe that we should all be authentic in no matter in what form or size we are,
mm-hmm,
especially because I feel like the society teaches you that you have to like perform a role and you have to stick to a certain ideology and you have to like fit a mold.
mm-hmm,
However, that is so suffocating because you're not being true to yourself. You have to lie in front of other people about who you are. And
mm-hmm,
so now I am quite vocal about talking about my origins, who I am, what I believe, what I
mm-hmm,
stand for, and I make sure that I make it vocal no matter what I go, especially like from like in a professional setting. I
mm-hmm,
like for instance now I'm fasting for Ramadan, and I make sure that people know like that I'm fasting because I realize that if you're not telling things, people are not educated and they just like let go of things or maybe make some comments that could be a little bit annoying or insulting, and you have to teach, and it's like by teaching people, by telling who you are, by telling your beliefs, that you are able to be your best self. And I always say you always have to advocate for yourself. And so
yes.
even when I go to, let's say, networking events, I always make sure that people know who I am.
Mhm,
And I think for me it just comes natural. Like I think I'm quite spontaneous and genuine when I speak to people, and I don't like to perform a role. In that sense, like I just want to be myself. I think it's important for me to be myself than to be liked by other people for being who they want me to be.
Mm. I mean, that is a tip because as a girl, I will say me, I struggled with what you just said. What did you say? Like performing or
At
like
all.
being, yep, a role.
Mm.
And I'm experiencing that now, and I'm grateful that I'm transforming because I am a new mom, which is a part of my new identity, right? I'm a mother, and motherhood does consume you, and I'm realizing in a good way.
Mhm.
Well, it ain't about good or bad. It just is what it is, right? It becomes you. But what I realized is that, and before I was a mother, my daughter is teaching me. She showed me that I should have been a lot meaner to people. Like I should have had more boundaries
Uh-huh.
when I was younger. I should have gave people a harder time. That's what and it was like when I first had her, I was like, wow, she just does not, she doesn't play. Like she's not like bending herself to accommodate whoever is in front of her, right? She doesn't do that. She has very strict boundaries. She's not shifting to make the person like please the other person. And I was like, wow, I should have been a lot stricter towards people. And so that's something I noticed as a girl, and I'm going to teach her that. And if other women at a young age could know, like, hey, you don't have to bend to their will. You need to be who you are and
Yeah.
stand firm in yourself.
Yeah.
And if they come with you, they can come. But if they don't come with you, they're not meant to. And I definitely struggled with that growing up, just always kind of bending. I was still being myself, but
Mm.
honestly, just bending to however I needed to be in front of, whoever I was in front of.
It's hard to put boundaries. And I think when you are raised, no one teaches you about boundaries. You are supposed to be pretty much pleasing and be accommodating. And I
Yeah.
think I also have to learn it in a different way too, because I was taught that, there's no such thing as boundary. Your time is my time. What you do is like, it's like it was, honestly, I read the book about boundaries and I felt like it's important to put healthy boundaries with friends and family
Yes.
to to protect your energy and your basically yourself. And it's
Mhm.
okay, to put yourself first. And yesterday actually I went to a presentation, and it was such a beautiful presentation about this lady who is running her own company. And basically she was saying how she studied criminology to become a criminologist, but then things went a different way. She got married and then she had 5 kids and so forth,
Mm.
and then she opened her own company. But what was so interesting about her conversation was that she was making this analogy about the pizza, and the pizza has different slices, and each slice is representing your family, your friends, and so forth. But you also always have to make sure that you always have a piece for yourself before you give it to
Mhm.
someone else. And she was talking about this, like sometimes we get so consumed by giving to other people that we forget to give ourselves. So I think putting boundaries is very, very important.
It is. And so if you're new here, you can actually catch the episode, my latest episode. I had a guest and she is an expert in boundaries. Okay. She teaches about boundaries, personal boundaries, boundaries with family. And so I love bringing these conversations up because, again, as women in society, we were taught one thing, but it's actually the complete opposite. And we have to really, as you said earlier, advocate for ourselves, for our sovereignty, so that you can show up how you need to whenever the case, right? Because we can't be having us tired and stressed and feeling like you've been stretched too thin because you're not saving anything for yourself. So speaking of self, talk to me a little bit about how you indulge or enjoy like self-care, taking care of yourself. If that's something you do, because being a high impact woman or just really giving yourself in a form of mentorship and travel and advocacy outside of your career, it takes a lot of energy, right? And we have to be replenished. So Urmi, talk to us a little bit about how you take care of yourself or goals that you have in the new year to try to step that part of your regimen up.
So let me tell you this. There are a few things that I do, and it's something that it started last year. So I do boxing. That's part of my self care. That's a non negotiable time. just for
How often
myself.
do you go boxing?
It's once a week. It's 90 minutes. Let me tell you, it's more than enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
you go there that you look perfectly fine, and you come out that it feels like you like just it rained on you. That's how wet you are, drenched in
Wow.
sweat. It's insane, but you know what? I feel so good afterwards. It's a
Mhm.
non-negotiable time for me. Like I always make sure that that's the time for me, and I don't like I'm not scheduling anything around like that specific day. So I make sure that that day is just blocked with boxing, and that's very important for me for my own mental being. And
Mhm.
it's something that I really had to try. Like I had to try different things, different workout to find out what was good for me. That was giving that sense of like adrenaline, but also like
Mhm.
strength, like mental strength. And it was with boxing. So I do that once a week. And then I also like when it comes to self-care, I also like to believe that it's important to make yourself like a good comfort food. My comfort food is of course pasta. So that so that too, like I look for recipes and I make like a good comfort food. And
Mhm.
I also do as part of like self-care practice is that now I'm trying to romanticize some of the things that I do. So I put a candle on, I'm like journaling, I put
Mhm.
like some essentials oils at home. So I always try to make it like a bit more romantic and
Mhm.
cozy. So these are some of the things that I do, and it's just for myself I do them.
Yeah, that's good. I love self-care. I will be honest, that's one of my specialties, okay? I love to indulge because are you into astrology at all? I'm just curious. A little bit, not
I'm a
really.
Leo. I'm a proud Leo.
When your birthday?
What?
I said, when is your birthday?
19 August. Leo,
I'm
Leo.
August 2nd, Leo, Leo.
Oh my gosh, that's it. I knew it. I knew it.
Look,
That's it. I knew it. I knew it. We roll.
that,
Let me tell you this. I knew
you
it.
see us. We didn't even know that, y'all. And this is what you call alignment. It just came together. We
I
both got
know,
on black.
right?
We got the big lioness hair, and we just sitting here in our authority, like, what you do? So what do you do?
See, let me tell you,
There you
it's so
go.
true. It's so true. The universe
Yes.
puts together all the lines because even my closest friends are Leos.
Are you serious? Okay, so shout out to the Leos in the building. Well, my point was, as a Leo, and I'm talking to collective, we love to indulge in nice things, and to treat ourselves as the royal sign of the zodiac. No shade to all the others, but it's just written. That's something very important to us. And so before motherhood, I used to do a whole lot of stuff like go to the spa. Now, mind you, when you're pregnant, you can't go to the spa. Fun fact, because well, you can't get into hot like the sauna and stuff like that. So I haven't been to the sauna in quite some time. But now
Oh,
that I'm back, now that I'm outside of postpartum, I am grounding myself into my new regimen as a mother, right? Because I do my self-care is like honestly hair, makeup, clothes. Like I do that every day. Like even I work and like at home, I'm a housewife, I'm home all the time. But I actually get ready for the day every single day. Like I put on perfume, I do the makeup, my hair. I keep my nails done. So I'm very particular about that because if I don't show up feeling cute, then I'm gonna have my mood gonna be off, right? So that's one thing I do daily.
so one thing that I do daily is I put lipstick with like lip liner. I like to do like a nice lip combo, and sometimes I do it even when I have my pajamas on. Even when I
Yeah,
take a shower, like I don't even remove it. Like I wanna come, I like to come out with my lipstick on.
lips is done. You hear me? Like left the shower, lips cute. I feel you. Do you okay?
Mm.
Tell you got a lip combo tip that you could share with the audience or one of your go tos?
Well, I usually like to do so I'm very into like brownish color and dark
Mhm.
color. Like I like those bold color like burgundy or deep wine. And so I don't know if you know this brand. It's the I don't remember now the name of it. Okay, it's Cross the Line, the Maybelline New York lip liner, which is a dark
Okay.
chocolate brown. And then I
Okay.
put like a pink. in like inside. It's a very light pink, and
Mm,
then it gives you that nice, bronze, like not bronze, yeah, bronze type of like,
yeah.
yeah, I love that.
Okay, so this like okay, girls, we'll give y'all a little girl tip, little glam tip. Y'all can try Urmi's lip combo because I'm into all of that. Like seriously,
I
so
can see it.
you
It
know,
looks good on
I
you.
didn't, and I love me some liner and all that. I'm kind of keep it the same. I don't really explore like I used to when I was younger, but I love a good lip combo. So thank you for sharing that. So yeah, self care, all of the things, like whatever you can do, and like I just said, starting next week, which is actually now because this Sunday, I'm gonna get back into my sauna flow because I used to do like hot yoga, hot
Mhm.
Pilates, um, but I'm gonna get back to it, and I do steps. Okay, or to me, I take my steps. I was doing 10K steps before the you too. Are you a 10K step girly? That works. I
Yes.
mean, now when I got pregnant, I took it down. I was still doing 10K steps for quite some time. Now I'm postpartum. I do about 5K is my goal, and I hit it, and that makes me feel so good. So sometimes just walking can do a number for your mental health, right?
Yeah, I also like to hit that goal of doing 10,000 steps per
Yes.
day. I do have my Apple Watch right here for the step counter. There you go.
We're
And
sisters.
that's it. I do the 10,000 steps, and I like to work out also 4 times a week. And I did also like hot yoga, hot Pilates
Mm,
back in the days.
yes.
Used to do them in the summer, and I was just dying.
Right. It's just that's a bit much, right? It's a lot. But I just want to drive home the fact that high performance, high impact women, you have to create space for wellness and
Yeah,
self care because I talk to so many high powered CEOs, women who are in their career, who are thriving, who just do all this awesome stuff. And behind all of that, they say, I make sure I get my tea, I
yeah,
make sure I go to sleep, I make sure I get my steps. Like health is wealth, right? And
yes,
so while we're doing all these amazing things, especially as women, you have to prioritize your health and your mental health, but even your physical health. You said making comfort food, even cooking your food at home is a game changer.
that's
And
it.
so, Urmi, oh my God, we only have a few minutes left. I really want to ask, because another thing before we jump, I want to ask you about where you were, trigger warning, where you were around the time of the pandemic. And so the reason I created this space, because honestly, after 2020, we were all online in some sorts. And so I was like, yo, I need to talk to people. Like, what are y'all doing? Where's everybody at? So where were you and how did that impact your world today? That's my question.
Let me tell you, for me, the pandemic was the best thing ever. It was the best thing ever because it gave me time to reinvent myself and to transform
Okay.
myself. That's when I started to reflect more about the things I wanted to achieve. And I'm not anymore the same person that I was during the pandemic. I'm a better
Wow.
version of myself. Much
Yes.
like I grew personally a lot, a
Wow.
lot.
Good. And were you in Canada at the time?
Still in Canada,
Mhm.
working from home, and because there was so much time available to us, I decided to like get out of my comfort zone,
Mhm.
launched a website, my YouTube channel. I did a lot of podcast appearances. I eventually published my book, and I feel like it was good because I got a clear idea of what I wanted to do eventually and how I wanted to be perceived and the brand I wanted to represent as an individual. So it just did really good to me.
Good. And thank you for sharing that because like I said, this space was kind of birthed out of the pandemic, similar to you. I've been on YouTube for a long time, all over the digital world, but this space in particular, I was like, you know what? I want to hear from the girls. How did you push through? How did you recreate yourself,
Yeah.
transform? Because globally, that was a time for the entire world to kind of reset, to transform, to go in and see what comes out, right? So
Yeah.
some people, when I say go in, we went inside, but then also inside of yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like to do that internal work, maybe call it shadow work, to figure out, okay, what am I really doing with my time and energy, and how do I want to be showing up? So for people who had a great experience, we are all kind of consciously in the same, like we're all in the same vibe, right? We're in collective agreement that it's a new time and it's a new world, and we are like taking it by storm.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to hear that you had a great experience. I did too. I got married in 2019, then boom, pandemic. We on lockdown, but we went up. Like it made us better. We went up. Some people split up, right? It was a lot of stuff, but it was just beautiful. And I really, like you said, was able to just go create, and just enjoy. And so fast forward to 2026.
It's crazy.
I'm living in it. Yeah, it's amazing. So Urmi, before we wrap, I want you to share three, no, just one. Let's break it down. One big piece of advice to women and girls who are navigating new spaces. Maybe they come into spaces, they're the only girl or only woman, or they're the first woman, because women are being in the first category lately. What are some tips or advice you can give them to really just keep moving forward and to stay encouraged?
I would say, I would say, let's see, a big piece of advice would be you are where you are because of all the work that you have done so far. And you have come so far, but you still have to go a lot further. So don't stop there.
Mhm.
That's my piece of advice.
Don't stop there.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're not gonna stop here, Urmi. This is just a pit stop. We say, "Hey, how you doing?" We're gonna get back to doing the thing that we're here to do. So, tell us how we can find you online and where we can buy your book. Because I heard you mention your book earlier. We
Yes.
weren't able to get into it too much, but I'm sure they can find more information on your website. But how do we get to the book and learn more about you?
Yes, so the book is called Discovering Your Identity, A Rebirth from Interracial Struggle, and it's available on Amazon. And if
Okay.
people want to find out about the work that I do, they just can Google Women in Leadership Foundation Canada and look for the Montreal chapter, and they can find out about all the events. And I also have a LinkedIn profile called Urmi Hossain, and I also have a podcast called Stories Beyond Borders, which is available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I also have with my full name a YouTube channel, so it's just Urmi Hossain. So people can just find me through any of those links.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Urmi. This has been a great conversation. And with that being said, this is Giselle, episode 19, a conversation with Urmi Hussein and Hossein.
Hossain, yeah, you can call me the way you said it. That's okay.
Okay. Urmi Hossein. And again, if you're new here, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.